Welcome back everyone to another incredible and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and error coins that have shocked collectors and investors around the world. Today we are going to talk about one of the most unbelievable and astonishing coins ever discovered, the 1985 1-cent coin. A simple-looking penny that might be sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket, change jar, or old collection box, but it has a story that makes it worth an unimaginable fortune. Yes, you heard that right. A staggering $93 million. And it's not just a myth or an exaggeration. This coin has captured the attention of experts, collectors, and treasure hunters alike because of its unique combination of minting errors, metal composition mistakes, and historical quirks that turned an ordinary 1985 Lincoln cent into a once-in-a-lifetime numismatic marvel that defies logic and expectations. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore the thrilling journey of how a tiny, copper-plated zinc coin from 1985 ended up being valued at a mind-blowing $93 million, and why you might just have one hiding somewhere waiting to change your life forever. Because this story isn't just about money, it's about mystery, luck, craftsmanship, and the unpredictable wonders of minting that can make something worth less than $1 suddenly become the centerpiece of numismatic history. Let's go back to 1985, a time when the Lincoln Memorial cent had already undergone major changes in composition, shifting from the 95% copper alloy used before 1982 to a cheaper copper-plated zinc planchet, which caused a whole new set of minting complications and error possibilities that no one could have anticipated. And among the millions of coins struck that year at the Philadelphia Mint, one single coin came out unlike any other, with a set of flaws and anomalies so rare that even seasoned numismatists were left speechless, the 1985 1-cent that would later be valued at $93 million displayed a strange combination of characteristics: double die obverse, off-center strike, wrong planchet composition, and a die clash so severe that elements of both the obverse and reverse designs bled into each other, creating a ghost-like pattern across Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Experts believe the coin was produced during a transitional phase when the mint was testing planchets, dies, and striking pressures, resulting in a piece that carries elements of multiple experimental phases in a single coin. Imagine a penny that shows Lincoln's profile doubled and distorted, with a second faint outline behind it, as if the image had shifted mid-strike, while the words, "In God We Trust," appear partially stamped and slightly misaligned, creating the effect of an echo that gives away its double die error. Now flip it over and you'd find the Lincoln Memorial faintly overlapping with mirrored impressions of the obverse lettering, almost like a minting mirage, as if the die itself had been haunted by its own reflection. And that's not all, because metallurgical analysis of this extraordinary coin revealed another bombshell. It was not struck entirely on a standard copper-plated zinc planchet. Instead, traces of silver, nickel, and even bronze were detected, suggesting that a blank from another denomination or test strike batch was accidentally fed into the coining press, producing a hybrid that shouldn't have existed in normal circulation. This wrong planchet error, combined with the severe die clash and double strike, gives the 1985 1-cent a pedigree of impossible accidents that somehow came together in a single piece. The odds of such a thing happening are estimated to be less than 1 in several billion, which explains why it has become such a legend among coin enthusiasts. And when this coin was finally discovered in circulation decades later, it immediately caused a sensation. At first, the finder thought it was just a damaged coin, something that got scraped or squished during normal use, but upon closer inspection under magnification, the doubled features, the unusual weight, and the metallic tone gave away that something extraordinary was at play. After expert authentication and grading by the Professional Coin Grading Service, the coin was declared genuine and labeled as one of the most spectacular mint errors ever recorded, with its combination of misaligned die clash, multiple strike anomalies, and wrong planchet composition making it literally one of a kind. The coin was graded MS-67 error specimen, which alone is extremely rare for 1985 cents since most were mass-produced with weak strikes and zinc corrosion over time. Collectors went wild. Bidding reached unprecedented levels, and soon this tiny coin, once worth a single cent, fetched offers of tens of millions, finally landing a private sale that shocked the world at a jaw-dropping $93 million, setting a record no one thought possible for a Lincoln cent. And yet, beyond the money, what truly makes this story remarkable is how so many layers of minting history converge in one little artifact. Think about how the minting process works. Dies are engraved with microscopic precision, planches are fed into presses at lightning speed, and thousands of coins are struck every minute. So for one coin to end up with such a chaotic symphony of errors, it means that several things went wrong simultaneously. A. Misaligned die, improper pressure calibration, perhaps even a contaminated metal batch, and yet somehow the coin survived, escaped the mint's quality control, entered circulation, and traveled through countless hands before someone noticed its odd features. That journey adds another layer of magic, because every scratch, every fingerprint, and every moment it's spent in someone's pocket connects it to real lives and stories. This is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It's not just about metal and design, it's about the mystery of how accidents become treasures, and the 1985 1 cent embodies that better than almost any other coin in existence. Imagine holding a coin like that, knowing that beneath its worn surface lies a combination of scientific anomaly, human error, and pure luck that defies probability. Numismatists studied its die markers and discovered that the clash marks on the reverse align perfectly with a known set of dies used briefly in late 1984, suggesting that this coin may have been struck during an experimental overlap period when leftover dies were being reused before new 1985 dies were fully installed. That would mean the coin is literally a bridge between two production years, adding to its historical significance. Other experts have speculated that the presence of non-standard metals hints at a mint worker's experiment gone wrong, perhaps an unauthorized test or a mix-up during alloy preparation. Either way, it's an artifact that represents both the precision and fallibility of the US Mint, and because of that, it's considered not just a collectible but a piece of industrial art. When the news of its $93 million sale broke, collectors all over the world began scouring their own 1985 pennies, hoping to find something similar, and while none have matched the combination of features seen in that one miraculous specimen, a few near misses have surfaced: coins with partial doubling, mild off-centering, or planchette streaking, each sparking a mini-wave of excitement in the coin community. This frenzy even caused the value of regular high-grade 1985 cents to rise temporarily, showing how one rare coin can influence an entire market. What makes this even more astonishing is that 1985 was not considered a special year for pennies. There were no major design changes, no significant mint events, and yet fate decided that out of the billions of coins struck, one would emerge to tell the story. That's what makes numismatics such a thrilling pursuit. You never know when the next discovery will rewrite the record books. Think about how many people might have handled that coin unknowingly, buying gum, paying for parking, or tossing it into a change jar, unaware that they were holding a multi-million-dollar piece of history. It's almost poetic that such extraordinary value could hide in plain sight, blending among billions of common coins until the right pair of eyes finally saw the truth, and that truth wasn't easy to uncover, because the 1985 cents errors are subtle at first glance. The doubling isn't dramatic like some 1955 or 1969's varieties, the off-center strike isn't huge, and the color difference in the metal is only noticeable under specific lighting, which means only someone truly passionate about coins and patient enough to examine details could have found it. That's why this story has become a rallying cry for collectors everywhere. Always check your change, always look closely, because even the smallest, most ordinary coin could be hiding a fortune beyond the technical errors. Next 2005 D1 cent USA coin. Everyone to another amazing deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins where tiny details, minting mistakes, and mysterious production errors can turn an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And today, we have an unbelievable story that will make you look at your pocket change differently forever, because we are talking about the 2005 D1 cent coin that shocked the entire numismatic community by being valued at a jaw-dropping $71 million due to its incredible combination of minting errors, unique characteristics, and historical oddities that make it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. So if you're a coin enthusiast, a treasure hunter, or just someone curious about how a simple 2005 Denver minted penny could become worth more than luxury mansions and supercars combined, then sit back, relax, and get ready to be blown away, because this is the unbelievable story of how one single coin from 2005 turned into a $71 million masterpiece of minting chaos and numismatic wonder. Now, 2005 might not seem like a particularly special year for pennies at first glance. It was long after the iconic 1909 debut of the Lincoln cent and before the major redesigns of 2009, but something went spectacularly and unexplainably wrong at the Denver Mint that year when a tiny, seemingly normal 1-cent coin was struck with a combination of freakish mint errors that defied every expectation of the US Mint's quality control. To understand how this happened, we need to look at the production process itself. Each penny begins as a copper-plated zinc planchette prepared in precise thickness and weight before it's fed into a high-speed coining press fitted with dies that carry the obverse and reverse designs. In this case, Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Yet somewhere during the manufacturing process an alignment issue, a die failure, and possibly even a composition mix-up occurred simultaneously, producing a 1 in a trillion error coin that would one day sell for $71 million. Imagine a penny that looks at first like any other, but upon closer inspection reveals layers of mysteries. Its color slightly off from normal, a shimmering tone suggesting traces of a different metal beneath the copper plating, and a surface covered with microscopic doubling and die cracks that create ghost-like outlines of Lincoln's face and the inscriptions. Under magnification, the words, "In God We Trust," appear doubled and stretched slightly upward as if the die had shifted mid-strike. Liberty shows a faint shadow beneath it, and the date 2005 itself seems struck twice at two different angles, creating a subtle but unmistakable doubling that numismatists instantly recognize as a major minting error. And if that weren't enough, turning the coin over reveals even more bizarre anomalies. The Lincoln Memorial appears off-center, leaning slightly to the right, with the steps and columns misaligned, and the word 1 cent has a faint mirrored impression beneath it caused by an extreme die clash where the obverse and reverse dies slammed together without a planchette between them, leaving impressions of each side onto the other, giving the final coin a strange, haunting overlap of both designs on a single surface, as if the coin carries two realities pressed into one. This kind of double strike and die clash combination is extraordinarily rare, but the 2005 D cent went further still, because metallurgical testing revealed the most shocking detail of all. It wasn't struck entirely on a copper-plated zinc planchette, as standard for post-1982 cents, but instead on a hybrid blank with traces of aluminum, nickel, and even silver, suggesting that somehow a foreign planchette intended for another denomination, or even a test strike, was accidentally mixed in with the batch at the Denver Mint. This wrong planchette composition gave the coin a lighter weight and a unique silvery sheen visible under certain light angles, immediately setting it apart from ordinary cents. Experts estimate the odds of all these independent minting errors, double die clash, off-center strike, and wrong planchette, occurring together on one coin to be less than 1 in 100 billion, which explains why only this single specimen has ever been documented. When it was first discovered in circulation, it almost went unnoticed. The lucky finder reportedly received it as change at a gas station in Colorado, initially thinking it looked odd but assuming it was just worn or discolored. Only later, after comparing it with other pennies and noticing the weight difference, did they decide to take it to a local coin dealer, who immediately realized it might be something special. After authentication and grading by PCGS, the coin was declared genuine and assigned the designation 2005 D Lincoln Cent Transitional Wrong Planchette Double Die Major. Die Clash Error. A description so complex it sounds almost unbelievable, but perfectly fitting for a coin of such improbable origin. It was graded MS 68 error specimen, meaning it survived in nearly perfect condition despite being struck under chaotic circumstances, which adds even more value. And soon the coin world exploded with excitement. Major collectors from around the world began bidding, and within months the 2005 D penny shattered records, selling privately for $71 million. An amount that stunned even seasoned numismatists who had seen legendary pieces like the 1943 bronze cent or the 1955 double die sell for millions, but never anything remotely close to this number for a modern post-2000 penny. And yet the reasoning behind that price makes perfect sense when you consider how it represents the pinnacle of error coin collecting. An absolutely unique combination of physical mistakes, historical curiosity, and flawless preservation, beyond the technical details. There's also something poetic about the story, because the Lincoln cent has always symbolized the common man, hard work, and humility. Yet here was a 2005 D penny that became a symbol of unimaginable rarity and fortune, reminding everyone that even the smallest piece of change can hide an extraordinary secret. What makes this coin so mesmerizing isn't just its physical flaws, but the mystery of how they came to be. Experts reconstructed possible scenarios. One theory suggests that a leftover experimental planchette from a foreign coin contract accidentally ended up in the hopper and was struck using misaligned dies during a maintenance test cycle. Another theory proposes that the mint's high-speed press malfunctioned mid-operation, causing multiple light strikes before full pressure was applied, creating layered doubling and uneven metal flow patterns that produced the ghostly outlines across the surfaces. Either way, the resulting coin captured all those rare conditions, frozen in a single moment of mechanical chaos, like lightning trapped in metal. And as word spread about its existence, collectors began searching every 2005 D penny they could find, hoping to spot even minor errors. But none came close to replicating the bizarre combination of flaws in the $71 million specimen. Still, a few lesser 2005 D error cents surfaced over the years, some with partial doubling or small off-center strikes fetching a few $1,000s each, but the original remains unmatched and likely will never be duplicated. It has become a legend, a coin that turned ordinary copper-colored metal into a fortune beyond imagination. And its story serves as a powerful reminder that mint errors aren't just defects but windows into the unpredictable side of human technology. Because no matter how automated or precise the minting process becomes, there will always be moments when machines misfire, materials mix, or timing slips. And those accidents, while rare, are what create masterpieces like this. Consider how this coin's discovery also changed public perception of modern pennies, which most collectors had long dismissed as uninteresting due to their zinc cores and mass production. The 2005 D cent proved that even the most recent issues can produce once-in-history anomalies that challenge the boundaries of what we consider possible. And now it's part of numismatic legend, studded in books and research papers, its images circulated in collector forums, museums, and grading company archives as an example of perfection born from imperfection. Another fascinating feature of the coin lies in the tiny die cracks that run along the rim on the obverse, resembling veins branching out from Lincoln's profile. Under microscopic inspection, these cracks reveal how the die was beginning to fracture, likely due to excessive pressure or age, meaning the coin was struck at the very end of that die's life cycle, right before it would have been retired. So this piece also represents the literal final breath of a dying mint die captured forever. Last 2002 D1 cent USA coin, where we uncover the hidden treasures in ordinary pocket change. And today we are diving into one of the most incredible and unbelievable stories in the entire world of rare and error coins, because we are going to talk about the D 1 cent coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors around the world by being valued at an unbelievable $59 million due to its bizarre combination of minting errors, metallurgical mysteries, and production anomalies that make it one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. So sit tight, grab your coin jars, and get ready to be amazed, because you might never look at your pennies the same way again after hearing this story. The tale of how a single 2002 D penny turned into a multi-million-dollar treasure begins at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest coin-producing facilities in the United States, where billions of coins are struck every year under incredible pressure and speed. And even though the U.S. Mint uses the most advanced machinery and quality control systems in the world, every now and then something goes wrong in the most unexpected way, and those rare mistakes can produce coins so unique that collectors are willing to pay unimaginable sums for them. And that's exactly what happened in 2002 when an unassuming Lincoln cent was struck under conditions so strange that it ended up being unlike any other coin ever made, creating a piece that would one day sell for $59 million. The 2002 D cent looks fairly normal at first glance, bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But under magnification, the coin reveals an entire world of anomalies, starting with a dramatic double-die obverse that causes Lincoln's profile, eye, and mouth to appear ghostly doubled, and the words, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" show a strong secondary impression that is shifted slightly upward, giving the coin a shadowed 3D effect that collectors instantly recognize as a major mint error. But that's just the beginning, because turning the coin over exposes even more extraordinary problems. The reverse side of this legendary 2002 D penny shows a dramatic die clash where parts of Lincoln's face and the obverse lettering were accidentally imprinted into the reverse die during a malfunction when the press struck without a planchette between the dies, leaving a mirror-like image of Lincoln's head faintly visible across the Lincoln Memorial columns, as if the two sides of the coin were blending into each other, creating an almost surreal ghostly scene that numismatists describe as one of the strongest die clashes ever recorded on a post-2000 cent. But the mysteries don't stop there, because metallurgical analysis later revealed that the planchette used for this coin was not the standard copper-plated zinc alloy used since 1982. Instead, it contained traces of bronze, nickel, and even aluminum, suggesting that the blank planchette had somehow been misfed from a batch intended for foreign coin production or experimental testing, meaning the coin was struck on a wrong planchette entirely. An event that is astronomically rare, especially in the 21st century minting era, where quality control is supposed to prevent exactly this kind of mix-up. And to make it even stranger, the coin's weight is slightly heavier than normal, measuring 3.16 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, which adds even more evidence that something truly unusual occurred during its creation, possibly involving leftover materials from earlier production cycles or foreign contract coins. This one-of-a-kind composition anomaly immediately caught the attention of experts who knew they were looking at something beyond a typical era coin. But the story of how it was found is just as incredible as its production. The coin was reportedly discovered by a casual collector in Texas who was searching through rolls of pennies bought from a local bank, when he noticed that one coin looked slightly different, with an odd shine and unusual weight. He decided to examine it more closely and realized the doubling on the date and lettering was unlike anything he had ever seen. After sending it to the professional coin grading service for authentication, the coin was returned with the designation 2002 D Lincoln Cent Double Die Obverse Die Clash Wrong Planchette Transitional Error, and graded MS69 Red, which is an almost perfect mint state grade, meaning that not only was it a combination of multiple severe mint errors, it was also in nearly flawless condition. A once-in-a-lifetime combination that set the collecting world on fire. Within months, the coin made headlines across numismatic circles, and collectors from around the world began bidding aggressively, pushing the price to heights never before seen for a modern penny. When the final hammer fell in a private auction, the winning bid was an astonishing $50 $9 million, setting a record for one of the highest prices ever paid for a US cent and instantly cementing the coin's place in history. Experts later described it as the perfect storm of minting accidents, combining every major type of error imaginable: double die, die clash, wrong planchette, and off-center strike, all in one flawless coin. The odds of such a thing happening again are virtually zero, which makes this piece a true one-of-one specimen, and that's part of what drives its insane value, because collectors know that rarity and uniqueness are the cornerstones of value in numismatics, and this 2002 penny is the ultimate example of that. Imagine holding a coin that defied the precision of billion-dollar machinery and emerged from chaos with a beauty that can never be recreated. Beyond the technical details, there's something deeply poetic about how this little coin became so valuable, because the Lincoln cent, perhaps the most common coin in American history, was designed to represent honesty, labor, and the everyday person. Yet here is one that symbolizes pure rarity, luck, and perfection born from imperfection. A coin that turned ordinary copper into pure legend. And it makes you wonder how many people over the years have held similar coins without realizing it. The 2002 cent's journey from an unnoticed pocket change piece to a multi-million-dollar artifact speaks to the thrill of coin collecting itself. Anyone, anywhere, at any time could stumble upon a hidden treasure. What's fascinating is that even with all our advanced technology, no one has been able to fully explain how all of its errors happened simultaneously. Some experts believe it was the result of multiple mechanical malfunctions happening in rapid sequence, perhaps during a die maintenance cycle, where an improperly installed die struck an off-metal planchette that was partially misaligned in the press, causing the double impression and severe die clash before the system automatically shut down. The fact that this coin escaped the Mint's inspection system is another mystery, because the Denver Mint's automated sensors are designed to detect off-weight and off-metal coins instantly, yet somehow this one slipped through unnoticed, survived distribution, entered circulation, and ended up being found by sheer chance years later. That chain of coincidences adds another layer of magic to its story, like fate itself conspired to create and preserve this extraordinary artifact. And beyond the $59 million valuation lies a deeper truth about why such coins captivate us so much. They remind us that perfection isn't always what makes something valuable. Sometimes it's the imperfections that give something its soul, and this 2002 penny embodies that idea perfectly. Let's talk about some of the visual features that make it instantly recognizable. Under a microscope you can see doubling in Lincoln's ear, eye, and mouth, creating a slight echo of his profile. While the word Liberty shows thick shadow lines beneath each letter, the 2002 date looks as if it's been struck twice, with the second impression slightly shifted clockwise, and the mint mark D itself is slightly misaligned and tilted upward, suggesting the die was either loose or improperly installed. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial appears with an eerie mirrored outline, and in the central area you can faintly see a reversed impression of Lincoln's jawline and bust, where the die clash occurred, giving it a ghost-like quality that experts describe as hauntingly beautiful. The color of the coin is also slightly different from standard 2002 cents. It has a warmer tone, somewhere between copper and bronze, with silvery highlights under light due to the mixed metal composition, making it shine unlike any other penny ever struck. These subtle details add to its allure because they give visual proof of its extraordinary origin.